Alright, the letter of Samak. The letter of Samak appeared before the Creator and said, "The Creator of the world, it would be good to create the world with my properties for within the Samasha support for the fallen is written with the Creator support for the Sama as all who will fall." The Creator replied that this is why you are needed in your place. Do not move from it. If you move from your place contained in the word Samek, those who fall will lose your support, and they will rely on your properties. And having heard the letter of the Samak departed. The letter of Samak stand for the Sephiroth Teferet of heaven, the beyond the body of the heaven, since the Sephiroth Keter of the Hushama beyond transformed heads Genesis Teferet of heaven applied with the light of the wisdom, where the only light of the receiver is to change their name from Killer Head, Keter Homashab Binyat or Hesad Jinra Tefera. As known beyond the two parts of the upper part of the Gimel Rishanat or Gimel 3 and Rishanat first one. The first three Sephiroth of Keter Hoshama beyond a lower part called the Zat or Zayan 7 Tashatanat low. So the lower Sephiroth with the Hesed Molsha upper of the beyond of the Abavim Ema. Being filled with the light of the mercy, Abavim is existent with a state of perfection without any desire to receive, but only to bestow. Look as designated with the Samak, the number of values of line 60. They include the first three Sephiroth of the Keter Hoshama Binyah and Sephiroth of the heaven for the view of the absence for the light of wisdom in heaven are not called the Keter Hoshama beyond, but rather the Hedesis Jinra Teferet, and therefore the look is consisting of 6 Teferets, each consisting of 10, and a total of 60 Samek. Alright, that of beyond the light of above the past of the heaven is part of the beyond, but the property of heaven rather than beyond received exactly what the heaven needs and then passed to him, since unlike beyond, which does not wish to receive the heaven of beyond, need to receive the letter of wisdom for heaven. This feels for the lack and separate for the beyond, the independently existing object for the Patzerfell form mounts of the lower parts. The part of all is called the Yeshat. It is designed by the letter of the Mem. Numerical value 40. This consists of 4 Sephiroth, Tiferet, and Ezvat, holds Yesat, and Percival looking. Owing to the shape of the property of the block, letter Mem is called Mem Shtamak, closed. However, the separate look of those two parts of the algorithms when they have the light of the wisdom and but of the light of the reception, conceptual. Consequently, upper part of the beyond remains perfectly aware of the low parts of the field flaw into the state of not receiving the light of the light of wisdom. And since the special objects are separated with the difference for these properties, the sensation imperfection separates the lower part beyond from the upper. However, this below improve the intention and actions in the spiritual and ask heaven for the correction for the application of overcoming the egoism of the impure desire, acquiring a spiritual pure altruistic desire. Heaven turns for the superior Yushat, which turns the look for the center of the request even higher, receive the light of wisdom, passing it to the Yushat. Following the Yushat and the look unite in one Parsvat with the receive the look of the wisdom. Yushat perfectly with the look of the perfectly beyond the look of the receiver. Yushat passes the light of the wisdom to the heaven, who then passes the Mashat through the light of the heaven. Man receiving the heaven is referred to as 100 blessings from Samat. 60 joins is met with Mems for 40. However, the men sending in the intention desire actions does not turn into the Mashat with the required for the or does not turn into the man with a request for help, causing the light of the wisdom to disappear from heaven, and heaven returns for the big state back in the to a small state. When the heaven contains the light of wisdom, this is called big. When it's filled with only with light of receiver, this is called small. The united parts of all beyond is only more divided by the look of the Yeshut. In small states of the the heaven and man are danger and the impure force for the Klopot clinging to them to make this does not happen when they may fall with the world with the result with beyond the power of the world of the world below and above, and look send the property of the Samak, the light of mercy, although it is only light of the receiver without light of the wisdom, and it was provided with the heaven and man. Sensation perfection is acts to bestow those impure forces to no longer cling to them. The sole intention of the impure, the force of the light, the wisdom for the with the pure parts of love, and this is why the light of the heaven of the small size is called Samek. Watch, it testifies the action Samek supports the heaven man so that they would not fall in the world with the result below the Parsa. This is why the letter of Samak thought that the world created with the properties would be able to go with the creation, merge with the creator light, which could shine with the heaven mouth shot with the mere man, even though the small state of the Kalipa or impure forces would not attempt to snatch the light from them. On contrary to impure egotistic flourishes with the flee from the light, Samak believed that the world were created with the properties which would be able to protect clearly impure forces stands from light from the contrary impure egotistic force would flee from the light. Samek would believe that the world would be created with the properties that would be able to protect the creatures, even the actions where they corrupted, for even if they such an impure forces would not be able to harm them. But the Creator said to Samek that the precise because of the role of support of those who fall and to protect the lower ones with the lower ones and items that the support decent. It must stay in the place and not move in it, for in the world created by its power would always avail and override of the writing of the heaven and man for the chance to grow with their small state. And heaven and man do not stimulate the lower one's peoples to the man prayer request for the helping achieving the Galva upper limit, but is not able to descend with the beginning with the creature bringing the creatures to the end of the correction and redemption. Therefore, the Samek must support the lower ones, and until they merit more than they do merit, will be able to receive the greater light called the 100 blessings into the entire parts of. So the Creator refused to create the world with the letter Samek. Because the lower one is to make only with the small sizes in the absence of the light of the wisdom of or of Hokama and Zephyr Ampine Navat need you to help with. However, you need only the small size. You do not help. You not help to bring the perfection, so you cannot basis of the world. Or the letter of none. The letter of none entered and said with the creators, I would be good for you to create the world with me, the Nora, Te Hala, great praise, and within me was the praising of the righteous. Creator replied, return to your place for the reason that the letter Samat returned to its place, and rely on its support for letter none exists in the world with no fall, with a fall, whether it must be created by the letter of Samak is the reason why it needed to return to the place. So as it strengthened lower ones, the letter none left him at once. Or when none says the Creator saying with the letter of Samak that all the properties that are all used in stay with the small size, that only the small support those who had fallen from the Gadlet. And though the worthy being of the basis of the world, because of the not only with the none having all advantages of the Samak, they can be also letter of wisdom and light of God Gadlet. For the reason of the Creator refused the Samak does not apply with the none. The Sifra Guerva of heaven is called none, for entirely mitigated the beyond the property of the mercy called none. 50 gates of the beyond is property of Genesis that gives the heaven of the name of the Nora or Tila or great praise. I am beyond is called its praise, since the Genesis descends from beyond. It referred to as Nora or Tihalet when none of the Jew of the separate Yosab of the Gadla of the heaven during the zigzag of the Nekava, like them, there once the Nekava received the name of praise, while the heaven becomes one of both of the praise and of I'm from you and them. Therefore, the none said being with the covenant air with the light of the heaven and attracts light mirth is mandated with Bina and Ema, which is also called the upper tela or greater praise, upper praise, with the result of the heaven acquired for the property of the name of the donor Teret, or great praise to match them. While this none has all properties of Samak, the light of mercy bestows perfection, repeals the impure forces' desires. Letter none added, however, that I have additional advantage with which I am under using big state of the heaven in the Assad letter of the Tazik of which I am left an element. The nun of the letter of Tazik in the same nun is defined as nor Talat, praise of the righteous, for even the heaven achieves God light, returning with the sun, ascent with the sun into view. None also acts as Yasad in heaven, connecting Navak back with the heaven, so that heaven receives the light of mercy from Samat, the look of Samat, the view of Samat. And none is called praise for the, and none is called praise for righteousness, for Yad, righteous one of the base for the Euro world mount, and the none is called great praises, but the track of the light of the wisdom of the man in the state of Gizlat. Therefore we find that man received all her beauty from the nun, which is located with the side of the heaven, while their letter of the nun claimed with the merits from would be created with the property of the luminous, as the light of the wisdom that unites the receive the zephyr and pin of Nevat does not merely support them in like a letter of Samak. So the Creator answered, you are wrong, thinking that the merit leading the world completely corrections by your properties without clinging to impure forces, for even property that needs to be supported by the letter of the Samak. Indeed, this spiritual slavery are not connected back to back with the letter Yad, and light of the Samak guards you against the clinging of the impure forces unto you. And this is why your properties and while rely upon strength of Samak are merely on one support, hence you are unworthy to becoming the base for the world. Alright, the letters of Mem and Lamed. The letters of Mem entered and said, Master of the world, it would be good for you to create the world with me, for Malek the king is called by me. The Creator replied, that is so, I should not create the world by you, for the world needs a king. Return to your place, all shall now create the world with letters the lame shaft, for the word of Malek or king is as world cannot exist without a king. Letter of Mem and Sephra Hesad in heaven, which received the light of the corresponding Sephra Hesad and beyond, when additional light of mercy is in his small state, the heaven receives the light of wisdom, becomes bigger in the Sephra of the Hesad Granuva to Tefret, into the turning Sephra Hoshama Binyat Dadat. In other words, the Hesad of the heaven ascends, becoming the light of becomes wisdom. Therefore, by reviewing the new light and light of the wisdom of the light of the Creator's face, this is why the letter of Mem claimed it was suitable for the word to be created with the review of the Creator lights of the world that were imminent, and eliminating any risk of the impure forces clinging to it, and it would be granted with the complete correction. By the Creator answered the forbidden to reveal the light of the world, but the world needs the great light with the first clothing itself. There are the three letters of the word called Melshalik, or king. In other words, the great light may be revealed in the word of the Mem, joined to the letters Lamed and Shaft. So the Creator said, go and join that with them. Mem in the word of king and his Hesad, and Lamed and beyond, which becomes light of heaven, and left the Shaft of the man, Shaft of his man, and Nuvakawa of heaven, and therefore there cannot be a king without a man's kingdom. Or without a kingdom. Also, the light becomes revealed only with the man. Thanks to the man, in this case the man shined from the heaven in three places. The man becomes the throne for a king, and his soul devoured from a cover of concealment, so it is named by the bent letter of Shaft. Man clothed with heaven becomes the great man clothed with the heaven becomes the greater light with the revealed of Israel. Man clothed with the heaven, with her kingdom, the revealed the heaven, and frees himself from a government growth over all the nations of the world. Idolaters lighted of his face pure upon the Israel, and all the riches then point the finger of the Creator and said, this is the Creator to whom I am inspired. The diffusion of the light is designated by the letter Shaft, Malshut. Man becomes the crown of the head of the kingdom, heaven, and this property of the letter of Shaft, the Keter, or Keter of the crown of heaven. Later, Shaft. The letter of Shaft. Like Shaft, you don't mess with a shaft. At this time, letter Shaft is same with the kiss eye with the Creator of the throne, so it be before the Creator of the throne trembled and said to him, Creator of the world, my property for the merit become the base for the world, for I am God for your glory. The letter of Shaft descends with the great Creator of the throne. All the worlds trembled and thrones itself verging on collapse. The Creator then answered the Shaft, what are you doing? What are you doing here? I will not create the world of you. Return to your place, for you exist but the world of Klea, destruction, and the world Kala bride. The Creator's throne, the word of Bria, Barrier, the appearance of the letter of the man before the greater light with the letter shaft falling from his throne as the result of the wisdom and beyond of the world and border barrier trembled as well as the lower worlds of the inhabitants. All regard agreements of the letter raised from the wish for the world to be created with each liking rising of the praise, requesting precise measure for the helping above the in the form of upper light called mad. Corresponding to the particular letter. It is so that Zephyr and Zephyr and Pin Nivite will rule the world, ruling effective with the very light, distinguishing Zephyr and Nivite expect the quantity of the upper light called mad, and with the letter evoked with the call of the mad upper light precisely corresponding to the praise in both quantity and quality, whether the praise is actual property of the letter, however, each of the letter argues the control of the kind of light from above will surely bring all the creature for the goal. Similarly, the creature answers in each of the 22 letters of Zephyr Amping of the Astral continues to descend of the upper light in strength and help, precisely corresponding with the praise raised from the particular letter, and when the upper light that descends particular letter begins the rule of the world, this signifies the creator's reply that the letter that should imply the force of the cling to one letter properties of the creator created to precisely balance opposing systems of pure and impure forces reveals the letter's inability to rule the world, as thus the creator dismissed each of the letter's individual claim to build the world with the property in order to gain the goal of creation. Herein lies the Creator's game, in which for the 22 letters given with each for the opportunity to receive reveal the properties of the power and forces until it becomes clear with the aspiration and analysis of the true merits of the world will be governed by it. From this we see the letter of the Amem being revealed with the greater light within the world is doing so, called the fall of the throne. This is because the throne has two properties: to cover the concealment of the greater, where the throne derives the word of Kishu. It reveals the Creator's greatest into the world with the helper of the letters of the king. The man then became the man became the throne of the Creator, covers with the same, but the turn of the shaft of the Creator's own garments, with revealing the king Creator becomes crown of his head. But as soon as the letter of the M was not chaff, the chaff began to reveal the light of the Creator's face. The chaff fell from the throne of his glory and stopped concealing him. And stated from now on, only the Creator's revealed glory would rule over them without any kind of concealment as desired man. Owing to shaft fall from the throne, 200,000 words of the originating from the wisdom and the beyond of the world of the barriers, as well as the world below, the shook, the tremble, the verge of collapse for an entire connection between the lower degree of the Parsva and one of the above the facts of the man, that the upper degree of the heaven, the first heaven, the lower and property of the later shaft of the consisting of the man, over the upper spiritual upper of the first, and the high keter of the lower one. There are three distinctive features of the throne. One stepping, 6 steps leading to the throne of 6 Sephiroths, Hesad, Genevera, Tavera, Nitzat, Had, and Yasad. Lower one for the leg of the throne light with the Savat, Keter, Hoshma, Binyad, Dadat. Lower one. The man of the upper one descends with the lower one with close into, and all light of the upper one in pass through her to the lower one. Thus the shaft fell from the throne of the greatest glory for the connection between the world of the Athlon and the throne world of the barrier where the served. This was because the shaft man over the word of the Zalt with the close of the Sharafa, Keda, Hukama, Beyond the world of barriers pours all lights onto the world of barriers called the throne of his glory, but the shaft from the throne with the connection with the world of Zalt and the world of the barrier would serve the shaft's temperature and trembled and powers to bestow the world of the barrier to the 100,000 worlds. Wisdom and beyond out of the Sephiroth of the Keter Hoshima beyond out of the world of barrier trembled in the fear of the collapsing that they lost all their life forces when they received the world of Azalt. Similar, the Azalt beyond the world of the Azalt, the crater is connected with the Zephyr and Neva. Because of the powers of all Binya, a word world of the Azalt consult with 10 Sephiroth. The last Sephiroth man comes with the heaven with the world of the Azalt, which is the property of the letter shaft. The man over the Sephiroth beyond with the closed end. The heaven with the letter Shaphat with the creator of the throne of the heaven, for the creator of the beyond, the Sephiroth with the heaven becomes the throne of the beyond, and during the fall with the connection between the beyond and the heaven, it served the shaft of the man over the beyond with the close of the heaven passes over the light to him. After therefore trembled the lost ability to bestow the heaven, and so did the 200,000 words with which are light with the heaven for the called wisdom and beyond of the Keter Binya dot, for like the throne, and for also the lighted departure from them, the word trembled for fear of collapsing, Srafat, Hesad, Genuvra, Tafret, Nazat, Hosad, Yeshad, and heaven that include all the worlds below them, for all the light of the beyond departed from thence. Right, the greater told Chap that because it fell from the throne of his glory, the first of Sephiroth with the heaven troubled all the worlds on these verge of total collapse and destruction without any hope of the restoration. Hence, but the shaft must return into its place in the throne of glory. Shaft returns to its place in the creator thrones, takes place just as they refuse to create the world with the letter of Mem, for the world needs a king. That is trembling with the letter Shaft still is fell from the creator's throne, which is returned made for the tremble the fear of possible collapse, and the creator's answer to the letter of the Mem transpires simultaneously. Alright, the letter Yod entered and said, Maker of the world, I would be a good creator. I would be good to create the world by me, if your holy name begins with me. The Creator replied, It is sufficient that you inscribe my name in me, and all of your aspirations are me. You should not be uprooted from it all. Since Yod is the first letter with the creator names, Hava, Yod, Hava, Iva, He, being created with the revelation, a creator of the first degree of the upper letter of Yod, as argued that the world had to be created with the property of the world to be absolutely guaranteed complete correction. However, the creator objects to it that already stated with the letters and questions the creator's answers, and the significance of the creator is playing with each of the letter, where the letters question are praised, and the creators are also mad in the upper light form. In telling Yod insufficiently, the creator has explained that the creation with the restriction of the light is only allowed to descend to its level, but not further. The restriction is fixed with the creator's name as Shadaya, Shindi, Dalat Yod. After the Yod began with the spread of the greater light, but the creator stopped in forbidding the spread of the light to have, but only the Shin, as was said above in item 25. That said that enough do not spread further, otherwise you will be not able to remain forever in my name of Yohad Vadan Hey. As sign said, my name is not pronounced with it is in writing, for it is written with Hava Yahava, pronounced Adi and A. Indeed, the name of the Havaya is subject to the change of the written, for I am the Lord of Havaya. Do not change Malachi 3:6, for the corruption of the correction emerged for the days of the world existence, meaning the constant changes are coming there only until the end of the correction. The creator is called the Adoni, for there is subject to the change, but not the Havaya, which can never be altered. Yes, in the future, after the end of the correction, the Havaya will be pronounced as writing. Therefore, the Creator said, "I will, if I see some fault or evil in you, by this you will be removed by my name. For my name Havaya may not be contained any flawed correcting, neither corruption nor correction." And this is why they could not be created by the property. There are three degrees to the letter Yod, name of the Havaya He. So the Sephirah of wisdom of the heaven is in wisdom of look and wisdom of rich and pin, called concealed worship. Havaya begins with a dot, which is termed for the Yod. Subsequently, Yod, or of the light of wisdom, spreads with the side downward towards the letter of Dalet, consisting of a horizontal roof-like line that indicates property with beyond the aim of the mercy of the reception of light within the light of the reception stops spreading within the light of wisdom, begins with the spread downward the form of the vertical line. This is the leg of the Dalet, with the property of the Hoshma Abba. The common property of light and of the look is designated with the letter of delight. The scene begotten in heaven designated with the letter of the Va. Inside delight, even eventually forms the shape of the letter Hey. Thus requests the heaven to receive the view compels them to unite their property of wisdom, vertical line, and receive horizontal reception with the help of the Yod. Consequently, the foreseen light from Yod passes out onto the heaven. The screen with the desire of man is called point, with a sense of the collision between the screen and the coming and light yields return light. Since the received light always consists of 10 light, the screen is called 10 points. Yod designates spread of the Nakado, inspired with the parts of the Keter from the light, with the Hoshima light of wisdom, onwards for the Vas, and signifies the spreading with the Nukadat, and with the inside of the parts of wisdom, however, the no sign of the value Va includes the diffusion of the light and Keter. Or entrance and exit of the letter Yod, the word signify the presence of the absence of the letter light of the wisdom for the four kinds of correction. The first, Ilber conception of the small state of Zephyr Nevet. This is an absolute passive spiritual sight with the letter of Yod enters the world of the light and transforms into the air before the back of Partsva. The letter Yod exists for the air, and which converts them back into the light, with the light of the wisdom enters the back of the vessel of Partsva. Second, the Ilbir conception of the godlight of the Zephyr of Nephi of the Altais of Binya. Asiya Hasim, or the beyond of the heaven to beyond the G. Sent to them, they were given into the small state defining conception of the genesis of heaven, the fusion of the light of the wisdom. Alright, the letter of Tet. The letter of the Tet entered said, Marker of the world, it will be great to create the world with me, for it is by me that you are called the good. The Creator replied, I will not create the world by you, for your goodness is concealed within you and is invisible, therefore it cannot be taken any part of the world I wish to create, and it would only be revealed with the world to come, instead of the goodness of the concealed with you. The gates of the palace will be sink to the ground. Letter of the Chet is opposed, and the letter of Chet is opposed from you, and when you together with the word Chet, the same will be formed. This is why two letters are not recorded in the name. The holy tribe of the letter Shet immediately moves aside. Letter Tet, whose numeric value of 9 and property of the Sefer Yesod and Zaya, with the outer property of the Yesod and the heaven letter of the Tzet, the numerical value of 90 is disjoined the Nevat with of the heaven, the forming the notion of the righteous one, being the in property of the Yesod. The Tet of the ninth letter almost begins with the beyond and heaven. Also, Tet is called good. Tet is called Tavo, or good, since the good is called Tazadik, for is his inner life of the side, or called the Tazadik. To impure forces where it could cling to the good, called above the justified claim, become the basis of the world. And Tumad, the sages wrote, in light which were the creator of the world, Adam saw from one end of the world to the other, but the creator saw the deeds of the generation of the flood and the builder of the Tower of Babel, the detrimental, concealed with the light of the righteous future, because the creator saw the actions will bring the thread of the chain clinging of the impure force that he concealed the light, this light descending secretly with the supernal righteousness to the righteousness of one Yesod, righteousness of one, the letter good. Until the Creator told the good that they become or that because they conceal from the sinners only, but the righteous worthy of the world to come in and cannot partake with the creation of the world of Zephyr and Nevet. The letter of the Tet is constantly danger for the being clung to the impure forces. And since the light sun shines only secretly inside the side of the heaven, not only open and Nevat will be able to receive light directly, but only through concealment in thereof. Therefore, the gates of Nevat sink into their Sephir Yesod, safeguards against the clinging of the impure forces. They are confident impure forces will not be able to rule over their gates, for every time they ruin the temple, the impure forces cannot rule over the gates of the temple and sink into the ground. This ground is consumed, but because of the need for such protection, I cannot create the world with you and creator of Tet. Her two pipes are channeled in the side of the heaven, the world of Asval, and the right one serve the birth of the soul, the left one throwing them away in the waste for the impure forces. The letter of Shet is whole as a Had, with the property of the man of heaven, the left pipe of the east side of the heaven for the property of the left of Sheth, or the property of the cuff and the clue with the side, whereas the cuff and emanates with the tiny light to impure forces, where they receive strength to be similar to an impure image of a pure man, as a monkey compared to a man for a creator created the purity parallel to impurity. Alright, these two pipes are located very close to each other, separated only with a thin portion called garlic husk. Consequently, the left pipe with the strength of the rule over the right one, therefore the The Shet numerical value is 8 plus 9 equaling 17. The numerical value of Shet is 17 equals the word Tavat, or 9 plus 6 plus 2 equals 17, which means the impure force of the pure one, if the right pipe letter Tet prevails the word Shet, sin, or prevails the word sin, will turn to Tavat, goodness. Sin will turn to goodness. Since the left pipe of sin has the strength of rule over the good, for the impure forces can suck with the upper life of themselves. They give the power of the sin of the world. This is not either the sin or the good, are present in the name of the 12 tribes of Israel, to show that these tribes are above the sin, the root of all opposing impure forces. When all the letters merited receiving the blessing through the letter Bet, and they lined up with the alphabetical order, which the letter of good and Rishi joined the letter of the good, ascending did not take the place for the greater as her good. Why do you ascend, but do not take your place? And replied, your creator may be creator being me, to begin with the word goodness, and Torah is in writing, and the creator saw the light was good. So how can I join and stand beside the letter of Rishi, and begin with the word Ra, or evil? Creator answer, return to the place in the precious lily. You then need the letter Resh. For the man who is intended with great, that combines all those properties, you are right of the property. Resh is the left, after the both of the good and Resh bad return to their places. Alright, the line emerges from the heaven of the world of the Asal, or angels, sorry, we'll use the angels from now on. However, they emerge from the source of the beyond. As a result, a second restriction of man ascends beyond, which the letter of the beyond, the separate light beyond heaven of man, falling from the lower parts of heaven to heaven, into lower screening of heaven. Beyond is called the greater God. As a result of the second restriction, Alpha, the God word Alhim fell in the lower parts of the heaven. Only parts of the Yod, Mem, or parts of the God. The greater parts of the greater God remain with beyond. That means only half of the vacant Genesis remain from the previous level of the Gar, whether their letter left designated sign called the Holam Vav dot above the right line, or like of wisdom, light of wisdom, or light of reception. Then it became big state letter of the of God returned from the beyond, be joined the Yad Mem, or those who create the greater God. Sequent level of the Gar, yet the light of the wisdom of the beyond was incomplete. The light of the perception disappeared. Light of the wisdom cannot shine without the light of reception. Thus, the return of letters A, L, H, and Shirak Vav with dotted inside because of the restriction that constitutes the left line. Restriction effect of Zephyr of the Andean Navat, open, ascending with the beyond of the night, beginning to receive the light with the middle of the line, emerges with the Gar of the Hoshama in the left line. As a result, the right line receives, right line joined with the left of the right of the right of light of wisdom shines in the light of the perception. Middle line of the Hervak and dot under the screen of the right letter ends for the parts of it. And since the beyond of the Gar of the heaven heaven now had acquired the three lines, began to receive the light beyond of the Admin, the Tet and Holy Holman, Holy of Holies constitute the right line of the Holy Rin of God, and good and salvation continue constitute the left. Or bad, I don't know what Shruck was. No less translate the language of Surat. When beyond returned one more time, the God returned the I am. Left line merged with the right and drove the good, the right line of the reception, light of reception, away from the bad from the left line. This is because of the beginning opposite of each other. They cannot stand by the side until the greater the end. So cannot stand side by side until the greater of God, heaven middle line reduces the Gar of both left and right lines, forcing of his screen, which is expressed by the words and of the greater command of the return place. Or the god of wisdom is called Manula. The lack of the preventing of the light from the entering the Parsava Delusion of the key. The key opens the passage of the light. The wisdom to spread the left line of the worlds, then to the good right line receive the light of wisdom. Left joins with the bad, receiving the light of the wisdom. Otherwise, it would remained in Adam to created from the union of these two lines. But why the letter of good reluctantly joined the letter of bad had to be forced to do so. The Creator in spiritual world rules over all the branches, and the branches submitted to the rules. Therefore, the good did not wish to join bad, as it was bound to become the branches and submit to the roots of the bad. However, the Creator wanted the good to receive the light of the wisdom from the bad, so the union would not be able. So the union would be enable the man to receive the light of the heaven. When the God returned to the beyond, he made the beyond restrictions would be weakened, so that so that as the allowed to the bad join with the good, receive the light of the wisdom from it, and follow the good, become the root regarding the bad, for which the without its reception of bad, without unable to shine due to the restriction placed on its light. Alright, the letter of Zan. Zan entered and said, maker of the world, it would be good to create the world by me. Shabbat is preserved with me. The written remembers Zaker. The day of Shabbat is so to keep it. The Creator replied, I'm not the Creator of the world by you, for within you a force of war, as sabers and swords called Kli, Yazan, or weaponry are made by you, and you are likely to be like a letter, none of which the world was not created for with it, in which the fall, and having heard what the letter of Zan left him. The letter of Zan depicted the combination of Vav and the Yod, at a head over the significance of the big state of the greater light of the man, of the heaven's wife, for the man includes herself into her husband, designated in the heaven, and becomes the crown of the head, together with the two letters of the heaven, the designated heaven, Yod, with the Yod standing above it in the letter of the Zan. Therefore it is written, remember the day of the Shabbat, so to keep the holy as a result of the Sabbath elevation, that the Nevat as sent with the head of heaven when she becomes the crown, includes herself in the word remember, and receive the name Nevat Keshadah, or holy Nevat. This is why the Zans claim the sense of the light is so great that holy that brings about absolute rest for the day, with the purity, with the complete separated with the impurity, with the state called Shabbat, Sabbath, or word become the basis for the creation of the world. Zain and the light of Zavat in the heaven of the Nukava included the Nevzat, and the merge of the property of the grain strength and ascending with along from the heaven, and the look in which became crown of the head has become determined with the signifying day of Sabbath. However, since the correction occurs solely as the result of the inclusion of the male essence, but there is essence to the viewing, not into the regular places should normally abide with the heaven Nevat. Nukava cannot be corrected completely during 6,000 years. This reason is why Nukavat returns to her place in the weekdays, and her connection with the letter of the Zan is defined in Cleo-Zan, or weapon. All the wars of the impure forces emerge from her like days, but shall prepare the Shabbat. For every man must not defeat the impure forces with him on the weekends, thus merit with the king of the daughters Shabbat on Sabbath. However, during the 6,000 years, the light of Sabbath insufficient in neutralizing the impure forces of the weekdays surrounding the Shabbat. To constitute until the day of the correction will only be the Sabbath as the day of absolute perfection for all eternity. This is also why the Creator replied to Zan, I will not create the world with you, for you are in your place, and light is not yet your light is not yet perfect. Only after you defeat the impure force of the war will the man be able to attain you, and shape the letter of the Va, resemble the spear ready to strike and pierce through the impure forces. For the Gevrat, or courage, that signifies the light line of the beyond, male part none. Or the letters of Va and He. Va entered and said, I would be good to create with the world with me. I am letter of your name, Havat, Yad Hava, Va He. Yad He, Va He. Creator, Va, both of you in letter of He, you should be glad to contain with my name. This is why I'm not created. This is why I will not create the world with your properties. Although the Yad expressed with a similar request, the Yavad and the Yad had been turned down because of the excessive size of the spiritual force. This is why Va claimed it would be good to create the world with the properties of Vahi according to the letters of Vahi and the name Haviyahe, light of the supernal beyond and the world of Asalal. The Creator responds to the same answer they had given the letter of the Yad, with the restriction saying that you dealt the Yad to stop at the letter of Shin and spread no more. The impure forces would not cling to you. Hence, the letters Va and He are not suitable for the word to be created for their properties, or even though not need to be that even for their properties, for even then need to be protection against impure forces. The light of Tiferet is designed for the bigger letter Va, or within the head, with the head before it is all six head Sephiroth, head side, Jirah, Tiferet, Nazad, Hosad, Yuzad. Yuzad is Sephiroth that is responsible for match, passing the light with the light of the heaven to the man. This is why the same light is in man and without these two Sephiroths with one without, and this is also why they decide clearly in small Va or without a head. The letters of Dalat and Gimel. The letters Dalat and Gimel appear with the Creator. However, the Creator told them right away, "It's enough that you both together, so that it's enough that you are both together, so that as long as the poor exist on earth, there's someone to treat them with mercy." The letter of Dalat derived the dilute poverty, and Gimel renders mercy, renders many Gamal till Hazadim, or the therefore, you cannot part in the enough for you to aid in any other ways this way. It was already stated in item 24 that Dalat received the light from the Gemel, and its sharp right angle protruded the light of the reception of the impure force of the nonetheless drop strong enough to cling with them. Separate it makes the sharp angle with the transform it into the letter of bad, or Rish. There's the letter of Dalat reached the special protection as not as corruptive enabled enough to fulfill with a Gimel, or mercy to keep the needs ones of the poor from poverty ones in the world despairing. This is insufficient for the two forces to stay in complement one another to fulfill one another reciprocal union to prevent the impure force of the ruling. This is what rod enough from them, and this is why the Creator did not want to create the world with them. Alright, how many pages do I got left? I got... Alright, about seven more pages. Alright, the letter Bet. Bet entered and said, "For the Creator, maker of the world, would be created for the world create the world by me. As maybe you are blessed and above below. The Bet for Bet is Baraj, a blessing. Creator has replied, blessing. Of course, I will create the world with you. By you, you shall be the base of the world. The letter blessing of the property of the wisdom, rather than his side of the Hoshima." Or the head of the wisdom and point of place, the light of reception in the place of the light of wisdom is called the blessing, passing through all the worlds, creator down to the lowest degree of the lowest world. Light does not diminish in any way, rather than just the light of the highest degree received from the world of infinity, just as great of the magnificent, mighty of the world as of the Zol. Likewise, they would weigh down the world of Asiya. This does not get in the core weaker and pass through all the screens of the above and downwards. This is why the letter of the praise or blessing be viewed by the world created with the properties light with the blessing, and same both above and below, non-screen weakening its no course or desire to can harm it. This is also why the property of mercy, Hazam, is most suitable for the creation of the world. No impure forces can cling to it. This is because the impure forces can only cling to places where there is deficiency. And since there is no deficiency of any kind of the property of mercy, there can never be any contact between blessing and the impure forces. The Creator of the agreed that the blessing of the property perfect or the suitable for the creation of the universe by Him, as said in the world of mercy. And Yabanu, when we built we built means of buildings and understanding in the Hebrew letters of Vat and Bet, or blessing, deny, letter of the Bet, because of the Creator, that property entirely sufficient, precisely evaluating, separating, puring them from impure. And if man seeks an eye with the Creator state with the barrage, blessing does not descend upon him, the blessing stems from the Creator alone. Thus it is possible to determine who is righteous and who is the sinner, who works for the Creator's sake, or who works for himself, or for the Lord, for the world built with the mercy. Yet the Creator did not order the light of the mercy to rule the world. He merely intended the good being of the sufficient to bring the world to perfection. This is because the light of the mercy is incomplete and insufficient for the begetting new soul, for the union of the multiplication of the spiritual object can be spiritual object can beget until it attains full light of the wisdom returned by the gar over the head. Until then, parts of Allah remains in a state of imperfection. Our normal lowest part of the determined property of the letter blessing, hence the Creator of the base for the Creator of the world. In other words, the basis of state of the pure object, when nothing can all diminish and impede it. In such a state, additional of the light of wisdom and the light of mercy is necessary for the birth of the new pure object is no longer considered basic essential, rather than is defined in addition, depending solely on the good deeds of lower ones and fundamental light of the what will never begin being severed out before will never begin lacking. Alright, the letter of Alf. Letter Alf stop outside, but did not enter to appear before the Creator. Did not enter to appear before the Creator. The Creator said, "Why don't you come to me like other letters?" Alf replied, "Because I saw the letters leaving your presence without desire to answer, and besides, I saw you presenting letter blessing with a great gift, with this great gift. Indeed, the King of the universe cannot be take back his gift and give it to another." Creator replied, "Although I thought I will create the world with the letter of blessing, this is you who will stand at the head of all the letters. There is no unity in me, but you alone. All accounts deed of the world shall always begin with you, and all unity should be within you alone." Also, we already know the letter questions the praise their individual request, praise desires to examine the Creator. The Creator answers to them in the Senate of the light from above, giving them strength and abundance according to the letters request. The great perfection and letter of the Alpha stems not from lower one's request for the spiritual essence of the correction, but for the light descending with above and evaluating the dwell below. This is why the beginning of the correction correction to end of the Alpha, unlike the other letters of the property. The full process of the correction of 6,000 years does not stimulate the rave of the quest of the Creator. The only light of the bestow of the strength of the spiritual accent descended from the above and begins to shine on from the Alpha. So the Alf, which is stimulated without will only take a place for the end of the correction. Alf does not raise the plea of man to the Creator for the soul. With other words, letter success, but no avail with the opposite property with the system of the impure forces against their properties. They are called Alf. Decide that no better than rest than their corresponding impure forces against the wall as well. Furthermore, it is not requested that it is not no request of the Creator, because it is solved. The Creator decided to create the world with the letter of blessing, mercy, and since it had no doubt with his decision irrevocably, he decided not to ask him. Although the true of the world was already created with the property of the blessing, but the Creator will not turn his gift over to another object which created with the property of blessing, incomplete, small, or vacant, without a head. Simply, the object needs a head in order to reach the state of Gadol, which is the possible of the object filled in not only with the light of mercy has Saddam, but all the light of wisdom, Mahushma, more letters are necessary for the connection, conception, birth of the new object in the new state. Aside from Gadol only being achieved with the help of the property of the letter of the Alpha, only Alpha can bring with the object through the Gadol and supplement the body with the head and motion or light with the wisdom letter of the Alpha brings union with between the heaven and man in face-to-face position, whereas previously the small size with all the filled with the only light of mercy and the heaven and man were connected back to back. This is why the man This is why Alpha creates a head with all the letters and stands in the head of the alphabet. Creators, this is why my unity with the world expressed only through the property of the letter Alpha. Further, all the rewards and punishment, distance and drawing near with as well with the aspiration, spiritual correction of Tu Shiva, all of which are led with the achievement of the ending with the correction that will only happen property of the alpha. I have made blessings based of the object that would be no way depending on the deeds of the lower ones. Thus, even though begin to sin, those above will remain unaffected. He's continued, but the light in you of the alpha director located with the action of the lower one, so that if they sin like wind of the wisdom, you will immediately disappear before you correct your. But if they correct the actions, the light of the wisdom will return. Many by unity with all the creation. For the end of the correction will only be realized with the letter alpha. Letters, kalam, words kalam are the notice of God desires refers to both the individual letters alpha to those of the words. In the name of the spiritual object, letters signify the force of the desire. The light can fill with letters the simple name without finding designated of the base of the light over the soul of Vito, Zero, or lights of Nefesh. The letters of the fulfilled name designate the magnitude desire of the fulfilled light. There are two sources of the letter Yod and Alpha. Yod is a genuine source from which the writing is something we began with a dot or Yod. Then, when proceeded from the dot in one of the four directions, we get a line of the soul desires in which the light pressures are received. A desire for something specific may only emerge with one initial, still unconscious desire filled with the light. The delight exists with the desire if the memories of Rishamat of the past pleasure to lead the emergency with the true desire received to feel with one more, the very desire in the soul. The feel with the soul cannot be called desire to satisfy, therefore expulsion of light and sensation of spiritual descent constitute the period of creation of the new soul, king, God, or kingdom for the future reception of the light of the new attainments. Between the verse restriction resides in the disappearance light of all the vessels in black dot Yod, be the base for all the letters of the God, a greater God. However, the second restriction is only true root with all of the worlds of all the worlds, because the first restriction was only made on a point with four A's for man and the four letter of the Hay and the creator name Haviyaha. Second restriction, however, were made with the beyond, and those 2 points beyond and man were joined. The union of 2 points from the line, vertical and horizontal. If the horizontal is called the firmament or the parsa, some consequence of both the first and second restriction forms a slanted line, or keter hushama, wisdom depicted the writer and binya of the man. Better the keter of the wisdom remains on the previous level and are designated with the the first root of the word, the first root of the world, yet their result with the second restriction designated with the slanted line beyond the heaven man fell to a lower level. Since the letter of the Yod is first from the very remote root of the worlds, all the worlds created afterwards in accordance with the law of the second restriction letter alpha stand at the head of the alphabet, the kind of light of the fields with the spiritual soul for the parts of the soul or object. They can also be seen for the designated with the filled with the light of wisdom. The filling of the designated with the letter Yod is filled with the light of mercy, or is the letter Alpha. Alright, 39. The creator made the upper letter to refer to the sephra beyond large and lower letters to refer to the man small. Therefore, they said Bershat, Bera. In the beginning, he created 2 words that begin with the blessing and the creator himself. So the words beginning with the alpha, the first alpha in the blessing are the letters are letters of beyond. In the second set with the alphabet letters man. They should mutually affect one another with their properties. The other one wished to give the light of the lower one should the clothe the lower one signify the first 2 letters of the blessing and the 2 letters of the alpha. The first 4 letters of the Torah For the first upper blessing of the beyond, of the second lower of the beyond blessing of the heaven, the first blessing of clothes, and the second one. Similarly, the alpha refers to the beyond and clothes of the beyond. This alpha and of heaven so all filled with light. Therefore, the two letters of the blessing are like one letter of bless, and two letters of alpha. One letter of alpha, the seventh low letter, merely constitute influencing the upper one, which tells the upper object will fill with the lower one. The world cannot be created with the alpha. The word of the or curse begins with it, and would begin with the alpha, and the impure forces impure forces called the curse, which would have received greater power with the pure forces called Burak or blessed. This is why the world of the Navaka of heaven is created by the letter blessing. Likewise, adding the Navaka of the heaven is also created with the power of blessing. Thus man of the world of Altala can constitute the root of all creation, all the world, and all that inhabit them. Alright, that was all the letters, and I'm going to cut it for today.